Hello and welcome to another edition of the True Crime and Wine Couple. Tonight we will be discussing the trial of Jennifer Crumbley, and we will be drinking a delicious grape juice with a kick, also known as a Niagara. If you love Welch's and you love alcohol, Niagara is the wine for you.
Definitely. This one's from Nisley Vineyards, which is in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and we'll get into a little bit more of that.
By Intercourse and Blue Ball, Pennsylvania.
And Virginville,
and
Bird in Hand.
And Tulik. There's Tulik.
Yes,
Okay.
there is. There's lots of those Amish. I don't know what's up with them, but.
So Pete's gonna give the background of the case.
Yep. So
grab your wine and sorry to interrupt Peter, but grab your wine and come on back and pause here if you need to, and come on back and drink with us while we talk about Jennifer Crumbley.
And while you're grabbing your wine, hit that subscribe button for us.
And like.
Yes.
Like if you do.
Exactly. All right. So Jennifer Crumbley is Ethan Crumbley's mother. As we know, Ethan Crumbley is the school shooter in Michigan. The parents of Ethan are Jennifer and James. Jennifer just started her trial last week. James will be going on trial in March. Now, a little bit of background on it. The day after Thanksgiving in 2021, James took Ethan to a gun store, bought him a 6-hour 9mm gun. Ethan displayed it all over social media. He was very happy with the gun. And then over that weekend, his mother took him to a gun range to shoot the gun. And then that following Monday, Ethan shot and killed 4 students. There were other injuries, teacher and other students, but 4 did pass away. Now, the thing with this case is that there were signs. They were actually, one of the teachers had caught him searching Amazon and social media for bullets for the gun, and then he was doing very disturbing drawings to the point where the teacher was concerned enough to notify administration, so they had brought Ethan down to talk to him, called in the parents, and nobody did anything. Administration did not search his backpack. Administration did not make him leave the premises. The parents refused to take him with them. They had to go back to work. And we're finding out now in this trial that Jennifer liked to do a lot of other things besides work.
Oh, she was working it.
She was working a lot of things, yeah.
Another thing I want to say, that a little bit of legality 101. What I found with I found this out with the Tim Ferritter Boy in the Box trial. They tried Tim Ferritter first, and then they will try Tracy. And the reason why Jennifer is being tried first is because she is considered to be the most culpable parent. So in cases of parents that are being tried, they try. Sorry, I have to pick up my dog. They try the most culpable parent first. So Jennifer is apparently more culpable of the two.
Which is kind of surprising since he's the one who bought the gun.
Yeah, but I think she's the one who ignored all the messages.
And
she's the one who went for the meeting. Yeah.
And we are going to get into that because there are a lot of messages. Now, one thing I did find out that I did not know is there were rumors over the weekend and the day of the shooting that there was going to be a school shooting. The rumors were prevalent enough that a lot of the students did not go to school that day because of those rumors. The sheriff said there was no credibility to them, but we do know now that Ethan Crumbley did leave a lot of breadcrumbs before this even happened.
But sadly, not to the people sadly not to the school or to anyone like that who would have.
No, it was in his personal journal,
right? Yeah,
and to his parents. I mean, he was reaching out to his parents. He needed help, and he wanted help. They were ignoring him. This hits home to me because if you've watched this before, you know Mary's a teacher. And the fact that we have parents like this out there who won't take 2 seconds, literally, they won't take that much time to put into their kids. This could have been prevented so easily. And I'm afraid that there's a lot of other kids out there that are in the same boat. What is surprising to me is that Jennifer and James Crumbley are the very first parents to be tried for a crime for a crime that their child committed in terms of a mass shooting or a school shooting, which is shocking to me. Absolutely shocking. We need to start holding parents responsible. This kid had mental problems. This kid had issues. But yet they thought it was a great idea. Let's go buy him a gun. That sounds like a really great idea. Let's go buy a 15-year-old kid who's having mental problems a gun. The school dropped the ball. There is so much blame to go around. Now, I'm not exonerating Ethan. He's the one that pulled the trigger. He's the one that did it. He's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. He is appealing to try to get the no parole dropped off of the sentence, but he will be in jail for the rest of his life, which is good. These people need to be in jail for the rest of their lives. And every parent out there who drops the ball and lets their kid go in and shoot somebody, kill somebody, stab somebody, they need to be held responsible as well. These parents are doing nothing. This woman was more interested in screwing around, riding horses, and doing whatever the hell else she was doing out there as opposed to raising her kid. And it's ridiculous. And this is some of the stuff that this is what he was telling his parents. So this was a text message in the spring of 2021 that he sent to his mom. Demons were throwing bowls and clothes. Clothes were flying off the shelf at home. It was presented as evidence of hallucinations that were not addressed by the parents. Her excuse was he was just messing around. He claims he saw ghosts in the house. That was her excuse for that one. So now here's another one from Ethan's journal. I have zero help for my mental problems, and it's causing me to shoot up the school. My parents won't listen to me about help or therapist, adding that he would spend his life in prison and that many people have about a day left to live. This is what this kid was trying to get across to his parents, but they were too busy with their own whatever the heck they were doing to pay attention.
Their own bullcrap.
So this falls squarely on their shoulders. It also falls squarely on the school administrators. This kid was troubled. This kid was potentially suicidal. This kid was potentially homicidal. They had him in the office. They had his backpack where the gun was in their office. They sent him back to class. Hours later, he shot
Okay,
11
well,
or 12
we should
people.
give a disclaimer about that because we don't know the schools, we don't know the Michigan State.
I don't give a crap
I'm
about
just
their
telling
state
you
policies.
though.
I don't
I'm telling
give
you.
a crap.
Okay.
Then they need to
they're
change
right.
them.
Yeah, but students' backpacks are considered personal property. Had the gun been in a locker, that's considered school property in many schools. That not my school. You have to have reasonable suspicion to search a student's backpack. So I'm not I'm assuming. Sadly, the school was afraid of liability. I'm assuming, but they're probably going to wind up with a lot more liability because of their fear of the liability.
Then
So I
call the
just want to.
cops.
No, I understand that. I just want to put that out there. But if there's no reason, and to me, the picture was reasonable suspicion, so I don't understand, how that went down. Like, to me, that picture he drew and the fact that the teacher saw him looking to buy bullets online.
And the
should
fact
be
that they
reasonable
were
suspicion.
investigating a rumor of a mass shooting at the school.
Correct. But then again, you see, but you don't understand the legality of a school. You can't narrow that down to one student. But I think
Well,
that
you
the
sort of can when
picture,
he's sitting in your office drawing pictures of shooting people and looking for bullets.
the picture was reasonable suspicion, in my opinion. So like I said, I don't really know the legalities of the search or the school policy. So we should put the disclaimer in though, we really don't, we're not totally throwing blame on the school, and we really don't know the policies, and we don't know the Michigan state law. I mean, if it was New Jersey schools, I could totally tell you, but for Michigan, I don't really know.
Well, if the laws don't allow that, then the laws need to be changed. And the fact that they haven't been changed.
Agree.
So this happened in 2021.
Right.
How many school shootings were there before 2021?
Mm-hmm.
Way too many.
Mm-hmm.
And it just does not seem like the states or the schools are making proper policies or anything to stop this from happening again.
Another thing too is most schools have a suicidal ideation policy, but I don't think many at all, if any, have a homicidal ideation policy. And really, with all these school shootings going on, there really should be something to address homicidal ideation rather than just suicidal.
Yeah, absolutely. So just getting back to my point before that, I think every parent needs to be held accountable. If it's going to stop, it's going to stop in the home. We can put these policies in place. We can have the directives. We can have the practice. We can have the drills. You can do whatever you want to, but it's without taking it to a point that I don't want to see it go, which is basically school lockdowns, armed guards, and metal detectors, and basically being a prison. Like the only way you can get into this school is like if you were going into a prison. You're going to get searched. You're going to go through metal detectors. There's going to be locks on all the doors. That is not an environment to teach our kids. So with that being said, I'm very conservative when it comes to my political views. I am not for taking away guns. I think they're our right to have, but I also veer away from some of my more conservative people in the fact that I think there should be some more background checks. I think there should be more, it should be more difficult for you to get a gun. And I'm sorry. If you need to have a gun today, you probably are not getting that gun for a good reason. There is no reason in the world anybody needs to walk into a gun shop and have to have that gun today. If you can't wait 3, 4, 5 days to get the gun, then that's good, because you probably were going to do something bad with it. Sorry, that's just the way I feel. I was brought up on guns in the house, never had any issues. They were under lock and key. I went through training. My dad taught me, my grandfathers taught me the safe way to use a gun. When I was in school, the schools actually held a hunter safety program that you could go to. I remember it clearly. I was in middle school, so whatever grade I was in when I was 12 years old. We had a hunter safety program. It was a Saturday morning. It was in the cafeteria, and that freaking place was loaded. Everybody from that school was in there. I don't think they do that anymore, do they?
Well, see, here's the problem. The problem is that you're comparing nowadays to the context of when you grew up.
Okay, how many school shootings did we have when we grew up?
Well, up until Columbine, we really didn't have anything. Until Columbine was what, 1992 when I first started teaching. Yeah, I think that, the context of the time period is just so different, and I think there was a lot of respect for things back then that there isn't respect for now. And I think back then we had much more, I think parents back then were more plugged in but less plugged in, if that makes sense. Like they were more plugged in about like being strict about things and, you know, consequences and beating your butt when you did something wrong. But they were less plugged in about your interests or, you know, and I think today we have parents that are, you know, reversed. They're really plugged into their kids as, you know, maybe trying to be friends with them, encourage them, build up their self-esteem, and they're not plugged into disciplining them and giving them consequences and teaching them the way of the world. And this is not all parents. I mean, I'm a teacher. The teachers I work with are some of the most amazing parents in the world, and I, you know, it's the hardest job in the world. I also think, you know, the schools. I think schools need better. Schools need better policies. You know, and they need more mental health. I don't know that it really bothered me when I heard the when I heard the counselor and the dean of students testifying, and they were saying that, you know, he didn't even seem nervous when they handed him the backpack. That kid wanted to get caught. He was crying.
Oh, he was crying for help.
You know, and I understand that plenty of younger boys hunt with their dads. I really think that if you are going to get a younger kid, you know, a kid under 18 a gun, it should be a rifle, and they should be hunting with their father. I'm sorry, I've spent every 180 days a year for the past 32 years of my life around 15-year-old boys. And if I had a 15-year-old boy, I would not put a gun in his hands unless like I said, it was a rifle and he was hunting with, well, he wouldn't be hunting with me because I'm not a hunter, but he was hunting with his dad. They're just too impulsive. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. They don't understand the permanence of death at that age usually. You know, and what was this kid going through? Like, he lost his grandmother. He lost his dog. His only friend moved. Like, you think these parents would have been, like, hyper vigilant. You know what I mean?
No, they were too busy doing other stuff.
And sadly, I think schools today expect, you know, parents today expect a lot of schools they expect the schools to raise their kids. And yes, it takes a village, and believe me, teachers are some of the most wonderful people I know. I know that that's not the public perception, but the ones I work with are. I'm speaking to the ones I work with. They're the ones I have worked with in the past. They're some of the most amazing, altruistic, caring people in the world, and I think we take advantage of them and how much they care about our kids and all that they do, you know, for our children and our communities. So
kids need to be raised at home.
I think,
Not
no,
by
I
the
agree
school.
with the village. I agree with the village.
I
I think, but the problem is a lot of kids aren't raised at home. So,
Exactly, that's
and
the problem.
And statistics show that one positive adult in a kid's life can totally turn their life around. So I think that we definitely need, I agree, the parents should be the one, but I think we also need to take into account, you know, what the schools could be doing and what, you know, what teachers could be doing. But you're right, it is ultimately the parent's responsibility. The school did not give birth to your child, you did. You know? I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like there were so many factors at play here and so many people were culpable, and I part of me just feels, I'm gonna hate to say this because I'm gonna sound like some like bleeding heart wacko, but I'm just gonna say it. I feel like this woman is being punished for being a bad parent, and I feel like everybody's really upset and they need somebody to blame. And you can't blame it. Well, obviously you can blame a 15-year-old and you can lock him up for life, but sadly, he shouldn't have been the one who was totally culpable here. You know what I mean? I believe the school was at fault. I believe the parents were at fault. I believe Ethan was at fault, but then again, Ethan didn't raise himself and he was only 15. I mean, so that's what? Like, that's the end of your freshman year. Or your beginning of your sophomore year. That's a young kid.
Yeah.
You know? So, was it involuntary manslaughter? To me, no. I think neglect would be a good one. I think not getting medical treatment for your child might even be abusive. But I'm thinking probably more, you know, more charges related to her parenting might have been more appropriate. Because I don't think these people really involuntarily killed those 4 children. I'm sure this is a very unpopular opinion. I do think she should be accountable in some kind of way, but I really think we need to, in the cases of these school shootings, I think sadly we need to take them on a case-by-case basis. because I don't think we can always make the parents culpable.
I
like I know you, Joe, and you know,
And I don't think
depends on the
involuntary
case.
manslaughter is enough. I think capital murder.
Capital murder.
Yes.
Okay, but
Not
doesn't
sure
capital?
I'm not sure. I think Michigan does have the death penalty. They just don't use it.
But that is capital murder premeditated.
Yeah.
So by buying the gun,
Yes.
yeah,
Exactly.
that is quite the stretch. Yeah.
Yes.
And I have to say, I mean, really, the only way to stop these school shootings is to prevent them. The guns aren't going anywhere.
No, guns
You know,
are not going
yeah.
anywhere. We need to do a better job of making sure that guns aren't in the wrong hands.
Yep.
But that's never going to happen. We could pass a law today banning guns. It is now illegal to buy any guns. Gun violence would not go down, it would go up, because there are millions and billions of guns out there on the street, and the people that are, so you and I would, okay, all right, well, we can't go buy guns anymore.
Yeah.
But yet the criminals, they could get a gun today. They could get a gun in the next hour. They know where to go. They know who to buy it from. There's so many illegal guns out there. The gun violence would never stop. So that part of it is a non-starter.
And having worked with criminal populations, I definitely agree. I am a firm believer, if you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns.
Yeah.
I definitely believe in
Yeah.
that. And I also believe that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And if we want this stuff to stop, then we as a country need to start investing in mental health. We really do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, we really
absolutely.
Because this should never have happened. And those 4 children that lost their lives, and their families, and the ripple effect, it's just, it, you know. And as a teacher, and they talk about, like, you know, secondhand trauma, and after Uvalde, I was a mess that whole summer, right? And you really and I
For a very long
think kids
time.
and teachers
That
everywhere
affected you.
are, you know, we're experiencing secondhand trauma, because you know, if you, as a teacher, you know that if you were in that situation, you could just see yourself in it. When I saw I believe she was the principal or the assistant principal. She was a female, and she had taught, like, for decades and decades, and you know, she talked about running into Ethan in the hall, and she talked about, you know, the kids giving her hugs and talking, and that's kind of how I'm very close to my students, and I could totally feel that woman's pain, you know, as she saw him. She even ran into him in the hall and asked how he was, and that would be me. Like, if I saw a kid in the hall that looked upset, I'd be like, hey, are you okay? You know, and oh my God, it was kind of traumatic listening to her, because I could just feel what she was going through at the time, you know what I mean?
So what are your thoughts on the trial?
Oh, Lord, the trial. Well, we have Jennifer Crumbley's lawyer, Lindsay Lohan, kind of. Yeah, she reminds me of Lindsay Lohan, became, like, Mean Girl Lindsay Lohan, 20 years later became a lawyer. Yeah, she's quite the colorful figure.
She's a hot mess.
And then we have the judge who told the lawyer that she was irritating her.
If you can't hear her, she is talking, but that's how the judge talks.
The
You can't
judge
hear
is
what
the
she
most
says.
mild-mannered, soft-spoken woman, and this defense lawyer is just railroading her, and the 2 prosecutors are just so over it.
Well, the funny thing is, today,
And I'm sorry, we're not making light of this situation at all, but this trial is, I mean, all aboard the Hot Mess Express. If you need something amusing to, like, it's entertaining. I shouldn't say amusing, but it's entertaining.
oh, it's, yeah, this lawyer is something else. But apparently, well, Jennifer Crumbley took the stand today.
Yes, she did.
And pretty much their whole defense was going through their Facebook photo. They're just going through all the happy photos of the family.
Well, what else do they have to
They have
defend
nothing.
this woman?
Yeah, they really don't have much at all. But the telling thing is that not one single time did the prosecutors object to anything. They're like, just go for it. You're just winning this case for us. Just keep talking, keep doing what you're doing. We're good. We'll just sit here.
Honorable mentions: Jennifer Crumbley's boss. Dude did so not want to be there.
No, he did
and
not.
he has a legal degree too. That was interesting. And Jennifer Crumbley's affair partner. Yes, he honorable mention there too. Yeah, that was
He actually seemed kind of excited to be there.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he
This is
seemed
probably the most exciting thing to happen in his life ever.
yeah,
If he
he
was
was
sleeping with Jennifer Crumbley, this probably is the best thing to happen in his life. So you want to make a prediction what she's going to get? Oh, and by the way, to me the most damning thing was when she sent him that text message that said, "I'm not mad at you. You need to learn not to get caught. LOL."
Yeah.
That sealed that woman's fate.
Yes.
And my prediction is they are going to throw the book at her.
Well,
She is going to get the worst of everything she could get. Okay, so what are the charges?
15 years
Okay.
and $7,500 fine for each charge. I don't know how many charges she's facing, or how many.
Wow. Okay.
So she's gonna
15 years.
get 15 years
Wow.
and a full fine, whatever it is.
I don't think she's going to. I say 10 to 12.
No, I'm saying the full 15.
You say 15?
I'd be
Okay.
very disappointed in that jury if they don't come back with that. I don't know if it's up to them. I don't know if they just do the guilty or not guilty, and then the judge passes sentence.
Yeah, it depends. I don't know, depending on
Well,
how
if the judge is passing if the judge is doing the sentencing, she's gonna throw the book at her because of this stupid lawyer.
I think the judge would
because
like
the
to
lawyer's
lock
just
up the
getting on her
lawyer.
nerves.
I think the judge would like to lock up the lawyer
Yeah,
rather than Jennifer Crumbley.
Yeah, the lawyer's totally getting on her nerves.
Did they say when it's going to wrap up? When the trial's going to wrap up?
Well, no, because I would imagine not. Probably early next week. Because the prosecution's done, I don't know if I don't even know if they're calling any more witnesses, are they?
Well, Jennifer, lucky for you, Shonda Von Der Ark was just sentenced, and she makes you look like the salt of the earth, mother of the world. So you definitely had her sentence before you, because that was horrible. If you want to see something really terrible, watch the Shonda Von Der Ark trial. So you think she's getting the full 15 and all the fines?
I hope she's getting, and I hope he's getting the same thing.
I know I think they sold the horse for money and they sold the house.
And you know what else she did? Do you know what she did before she was arrested? She went into Ethan's bank account and took the $3,000 out that he had in there.
Well, yeah, you need all the money, but see, and this is people, and I see this, and I see people condemning her for this. What are you gonna do? You need money.
Oh, and they didn't show up for their arraignment either. They had to get the U.S. Marshals to bring them in.
Oh my God. Yeah, this poor woman. Well, not that she's, I don't mean poor woman, but she is gonna go to prison for being a bad parent and a bad human being. She really is.
She definitely is.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah. Well, the wine.
Yes, the wine.
So as Mary said, if you like grape juice, this would be the one to get. It is very sweet. And we were at this winery a long time ago. It's in Lancaster. But this was a Christmas present from my daughter.
Goes to show how well she knows what we like in wine.
Yeah.
Because we do not like the sweet stuff.
But if you like the sweet stuff, this is actually very good. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. It's just, it's probably, well, does it say on here? I don't think it does.
We'll probably make a good, or you can make ice cubes out of it and maybe put it in like your
All right, well,
water.
here you go. This is what the description is. Sweet and grapey. They're not lying.
Sweet and grapey.
Sweet and grapey.
That'd be a good name for like a winery.
Sweet and grapey.
Sweet and grapey.
But do you have anything else, Dad?
If you like your Welch's with a kick.
Yes.
Niagara. Although there is a place in Bucks County that has a dry Niagara, and that was the only dry Niagara we ever had in. And where's the place we go in Bucks County? Where's the one?
Buckingham?
But yeah, Buckingham. No, it's near Buckingham Valley Vineyards. But what is the name of that town? Cape? Not May.
No, that's New Jersey.
What's the name of the town? What's the name of that town?
I know what you're talking about.
We
I
can't remember the name of the town. All right, we'll remember.
Oh, New Hope.
New Hope. New Hope, Pennsylvania. There's a place there that has a dry Niagara that's fantastic, and it's the only dry Niagara I've ever had.
Yeah.
But it's not Buckingham Valley. It's the guy with the dreadlocks a couple wineries over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so. But if you ever want to drive Niagara, go to New Hope, Pennsylvania, and
Yes.
find the guy with the dreadlocks who is two wineries
That
away
is
from
a huge
Buckingham
help to them.
Valley.
They will know exactly
That's
where to
where
find them. Anything else to add?
That's it. Stay tuned. We'll be covering the second episode of the Gypsy Rose
Yes.
prison tapes.
Absolutely.
Something a little bit lighter than this.
Yes.
Well, although I guess that involved a murder as well, but
Yeah.
that was a little bit different. A lot different, yes.
A lot different. All right.
Like and subscribe. Leave us comments. We love your comments. We try to reply to every single one. And let us know if there's any content that we're not putting out that you would like to see.
Absolutely.